Welcome. Blessed to have another conversation with you. And today it's a little sunny, so I hope you don't mind some sunglasses. But I really want to go over the last couple months have been exciting. Um, my wife brought a new baby into the world, so now we're up to three. I think we're done after that. But um, yeah, I haven't been putting out content like I said when I would be off. So I finally am doing it. It's hot out here, but I got some motivation, so that's what we're going to do. I really want to talk about what I want to do in the future as well, but today we'll kind of talk about the article that I wrote um, last week, I believe, um, talking about grabbing the shears in your life. I was uh, cutting a bunch of bushes that were overgrown around the landscape of my house, which doesn't have much landscaping. It was just all overgrown, and I still got a few huge bushes to take down that have everything growing within it. But the point of the article was to look at different parts of your life, and if it's sin, if it's something that's causing you to be lazy or slow you down, you need to cut it out and keep pushing towards what the mission is that God has you on, or at least the path. We're not all meant to do anything huge. Just talking to other people about God and spreading the gospel is the main point. But everybody is different. So for me, my mission is sword and banner, and I really feel like if if I push forward hard enough, God will bring blessings from that, and that's what I'm going to do. So, some videos that I would like to talk about, um, videos that I enjoy, anyways, would be more of a tabletop review of the different stuff that I have. So, um, or different stuff I'm using to better my knowledge on the Bible and um, theology and all that together to make sure that I'm writing articles that are useful, not just motivational, but are grounded in scripture, and how you can apply that to your life. Um, you always when you really start reading the Bible and you telling people about Christ, that idea of being a preacher will usually come up, or at least I think so. Maybe it's just because that's what I feel God is pushing me to, but I don't know. So still praying on that, and really want to take the time to study and work hard on that, so I know that whatever God is guiding me through, or speaking through my heart about, that I can understand it and be a good communicator. So that's what I'm kind of using these videos to do, is be able to just talk more. I think a lot and I talk to myself a lot, but I really want to use this to be a better um, explainer and exegete the text if I happen to preach, and just in day to day life. I think it's important to be um, to be in the understanding that I'm not going to be able to be the best teacher, and just trying to kindle a fire of some sort into somebody else so they go and look to God for themselves, I think is very important. So this is kind of my travel, kind of go through what I want to go over in the future. But this is kind of the little travel thing I got going on. I got a personal size. It's called the Pit Minion uh, cheap or whatever. It's just a cheap version of the Pit Minion, but it's in CSB. I wanted to get a size like this to see if I enjoyed it, but I got the CSB because I'm reading uh, as much as I can each day, and sometimes that's not a lot. But um, the point was to read the whole Bible in 90 days, and I am fairly behind. So, you get behind just a couple of days, that's 30 or 40 chapters you're supposed to be hitting. So I don't want to push through it. But those first few days with the new baby set me back a little bit. So those are only excuses. But yeah, I carry the CSB just for ease of reading. The CSB is really easy to read, and it's kind of in the middle of the translation spectrum. So that's what I got there. And then this Lockerbie, it's somewhat expensive, but good for the money. It has the ability to hold quite a few notebooks here. So I have one for kind of my thoughts while I'm going through and reading the Bible fairly quickly. I got a blank one here for something new. We're doing a Kingdom men's group at church, and I have that here. And then we have we're doing a Revelations Bible study on Sundays at my church. So I have that in the back there. You could put little books in here too. It has this loop here. You can kind of expand that pretty well to fit whatever you want, but I recommend just small books. This one's from Founders Press. Good little book that I'm kind of reading through and rereading. But it's got slots. I got some things to separate the pages. And then I would highly recommend this here. These little paper markers. They just fit on the edge of the paper and they kind of point at whatever you're at. Really helpful with the Bible because it's small text, and sometimes there's multiple chapters or there's a big chapter that you stop at and you just need to put where you exactly were. That can really help. Micron pen, a Pilot pen, and then to put that back here, you got this little hook that goes on there, goes together good. And then video ideas I have back here, a couple extra pens. So we'll look through that. This is my Sunday school teaching setup here, I guess you could say. Just got done with Genesis. We're working through Exodus. So I have where we're at marked. And then I like this because it's ESV, which is on the literal translation side, a little bit above King James Version, but right below the NASB, which I have all the translations as many as I can get because I like them. But this was a real good one. It's giant text, so I don't lose my place when I'm reading. If I have to look around, if somebody has a question, I need to stop, or just being able to write in the margins. Ooh. Be able to write along the side. There's a little bit of room there. It's called wide margin, but it's a big Bible, so I guess it is pretty wide, but it's definitely not like a journaling Bible of sorts. And then here I just have a nice leather cover for a notebook, and you can see we just Genesis, and we'll just keep going. So couple pens there, a big thicker one and a 0.5 one for the Bible and one to write in here, and then a little ruler that I can use to mark my place, or I use that to write in the large Bible as well. And then the Revelations study part, this is newer because we just started back, but I got this big thing to take to church, but I don't really like little bags, so I put my systematic theology study Bible in there. And I think this is good just because we're watching a video and they're explaining more, but I can kind of, as he stops or we take a moment to talk about what he talked about in the video, I can just look at the study notes here, especially Revelations. I can kind of define the terms a little better or what we should be looking at in correlation with the rest of the Bible. And then I just got a pen in there. So those are kind of the three things I have for the different things going on at my church and in my personal life. But I thought it would be interesting to go through those specifically, why I kind of break it down that way. You can just have this. I mean, I have all the notes here with all of it, but just gives you some options. It's great to mix it up. It's like anything, you have a couple different pairs of sunglasses, a couple hats, different shoes. When you make the Bible your hobby, you don't want to just collect and not read, but um, you want to make sure that you're giving yourself no reason why you're not reading. You have the big Bible to read at your house or to read at church. You have your small Bible to carry with you. So you're waiting on something at a store. With my son, when I take him to Taekwondo and we get there a little early, I can break it out, read a little bit. Even just around the house or out here, I can bring that out here. I'm not worried about it getting dirty because it's a cheap setup and a good quality little case. I think that's super important. But yeah, I just want you to think of that. How are you going to make the Bible the center focus of what you go to in anything? I believe it's very important. And with that, I want to bring it back to that article. I'm going to be trying to, they're never that long of an article. Just a little piece to read, I guess you could say. And I enjoy having ChatGPT make me a cool little picture to go with it. I usually go with like old oil painting style, which is really interesting. But with all that, I think it's important to just remember that, I'm saying this from just being lazy and not making videos, but I've been a Christian for many years, and this year is the robust making sure that I do what I should been doing. But I'm glad I'm at a place where I'm at now to where I can really focus on Christ above all, even though there's still bills and multiple things going on in my life, family dynamics changing with a child, and all those things happen. But this year has been a revamping and kindling of the Holy Spirit in my life because I wasn't reading every day or every other day, and I wasn't studying. I wasn't reading books that were focused on Christ to learn more. When I'm watching YouTube videos, you can have gaming videos and stuff that you watch, but when I'm trying to consume more um, of a Christian outlet of just watching apologetics videos and people breaking down arguments and conversations and learning about what logic is like as a thing, not just like, well, that's illogical. It's like, well, what does logic mean? Learning those things to build your repertoire of making the Bible your hobby. So when somebody talks to you, you can explain it to them. And some days that's just talking about the gospel. It doesn't have to be this big um, theological debate with somebody that is an atheist. It could just be somebody's going through a hard time. And when you can navigate through the Bible in your head a little bit and think of a verse or a chapter or a story or a parable or a character in the Bible to comfort that person and let them know that Christ is always right there waiting. All you got to do is reach out and he'll be there. And I believe that's something that's kind of festering up in definitely America, but across the world as a whole is, everybody talks about revival, but revival can happen at any moment. And revival doesn't look like a bunch of music and songs the whole time and jumping up and down. It's just the consistent, obedient worship to God. And I think that's a beautiful thing that kind of having this big swing up. And, if you know the Lord's Giant on YouTube, He made a great TikTok that I just saw today, where and even when some new Christian starts talking, and you're like, you just got saved, you don't know anything. It's okay. I've been a Christian for 10 years, and I hadn't been doing what I was supposed to do. I was just being a faithful servant and being the best Christian I could be. So now somebody that has this platform, or somebody that's new in church and wants to say something about what God has done for them, or what they believe the Bible was telling them, doesn't mean you have to yell at them or look down to them that they don't know what they're talking about because they've only been a Christian for a week. What has God done for you, for how mature of a Christian you should be? And you never have said anything, and they have said so much more just at the start. So just, think about that. I'm thinking about that. The grace that I have been given. Why can't we take that grace and give it to other people? Doesn't mean you don't have to have a conversation with them or help them or lead them on the right path to take. If they're get saved and they go straight to Joel Osteen talking, maybe you can guide them to a different path. But just have some grace, and that's what I'm doing as well. Watching people that I have watched on YouTube that were small and have grown. Why would I put a mean comment or something that they got wrong? Just be like, hey, maybe look at this or look at that, or let's have a conversation. I think it's very important. I think that's all I got to